Sometimes things happen that are horrible tragedies. I can't imagine the church in Texas this morning. Just one of our children was killed, how the rest of us would feel gathered together. What I want to share with you today, just a word of caution, this is not what you go and share with somebody the moment they've experienced a tragedy. Okay, so please don't do that. You go to the funeral home, don't share with them what I'm going to share with you right now. At a time like that, the best thing you can do is just be there and silently pray for them and say very little other than, I'm praying for you. But all of us are going to go through things in life that we didn't expect. And I want to kind of prepare you now for that. And then sometimes after someone's been through a tragedy, maybe a year later, these are some things that you can help them with as they're trying to work through it. So we're going to put some verses on the screen this morning. The first one is Isaiah 46, verses 9 and 10. Remember the former things of old, for I am God, and there is no other. I am God, and there is none like me, declaring the end from the beginning. In other words, before anything begins, God already decrees how it's going to end. And from ancient times, things that are not yet done, saying, my counsel shall stand, and I will do all my pleasure. In other words, what this verse is saying is that everything that happens is according to God's decree and according to His plan. The Lord is not up in heaven saying, oh my, look at that, angels, the roof fell in at CIC. The Lord is not in heaven saying, oh my, look what happened in Texas at that church. The Lord is not up in heaven panicking about what's happening in your life. He has declared the end from the beginning, and His counsel will stand. So everything that happens in this world, we must understand, God is in control. And not only is He just in control, He has ordained it and planned it. 1 Chronicles 29, verses 11 and 12. Yours, O Lord, is the greatness, the power and the glory, the victory and the majesty, for all that is in heaven and in earth is yours. Yours is the kingdom, O Lord, and you are exalted as head over all. Both riches and honor come from you, and you reign over all. In your hand is power and might. In your hand it is to make great and to give strength to all. So in other words, God is enthroned as King of kings and Lord of lords. And everything that happens, nothing can happen that doesn't cross His desk. And everything that happens is part of His plan. He is the King, and He is in charge. So, God's in charge. Psalm 29:11. The Lord sat enthroned at the flood. The Lord sits as King forever. God is in control. Psalm 135, verses 5 and 6. For I know that the Lord is great, and our Lord is above all gods. Whatever the Lord pleases, He does, in heaven and in earth, in the seas and in all deep places. In other words, there is not some random molecule out there in the universe that's just spinning around doing its own thing. Whatever the Lord pleases, He does in heaven, in earth, in the sea, in the deep places. God is in control of everything and everyone. The Lord is in control. And that gives us great peace when we go through things that are unexpected. Because God is in control. He is sovereign and in charge. Ephesians 1:11. In Him also we have obtained an inheritance, being predestined according to the purpose of Him who works all things according to the counsel of His will. God is in control. And that's why, as Christians, we shouldn't get too upset or stressed out or worried. Now we do. I do. I know these things. Fear wells up in me. Fear wells up in you. Fear welled up in Leanne when she heard that rumble and everything happening. Fear wells up in me when my phone rings at 3:30 in the morning. The fear wells up, but that's when we have to push that back and say, God, you're in control. And everything happens according to the counsel of your will. Even people who do bad things. Proverbs 16:4, the Lord has made all for himself, yes, even the wicked for the day of doom. Now, God knew what he was doing when he created Satan. God knew what he was doing when the fellow that carried this atrocity out in Texas was born. And God knew what he was doing when the military didn't turn in the fact that the guy was a felon and he was able to go buy a gun. We look at things that to us they seem accidents, but God is in control. That's the first thing that I think that helps us, is a great peace that nothing can happen to me unless God has ordained it. Nothing can happen to you unless God's ordained it. Now that doesn't mean we go tempt God and stand in the middle of Highway 62. But it means we can live our life and say, Lord, if I'm doing what you want me to do, walking in your ways, I don't need to worry. Here's the next thing. First thing is God is in control. The second thing, this verse talks about. Nahum 1, 3-9. Now it talks about it being in control, but then it tells us something we need to know that's very important about that. The Lord is slow to anger and great in power, and will not at all acquit the wicked. The Lord has his way in the whirlwind and in the storm, and the clouds and the dust of his feet. He rebukes the sea and makes it dry and dries up all the rivers. Bashan and Carmel wither, and the flower of Lebanon wilts. So whether it's a tornado or a storm or a drought, God is in control. The mountains quake before him. Whether it's an earthquake, God is in control. The hills melt. Whether it's a volcano, God is in control. The earth heaves at his presence, yes, the world and all who dwell in it. Who can stand before his indignation? And who can endure the fierceness of his anger? His fury is poured out like fire, and the rocks are thrown down by him. The Lord is good, a stronghold in the day of trouble, and he knows those who trust in him. Now, not only is he in control, but he is good. He is good. It'd be awful if we had a God who was not good, that was in control. But God is in control, and he's good, and he's a stronghold in the day of trouble, and he knows those who trust in him. So we can rest on the Lord because he knows what he's doing, he's in control, but he's also good. Say, Pastor Brian, I don't understand. How can the goodness of God be seen in what happened in Texas? How can the goodness of God be seen in what's happening in my own life? Well, that's where faith comes in. The Lord is good, a stronghold in the day of trouble, and he knows those who trust in him. The verse goes on to say, but with an overflowing flood, he will make an utter end of its place. Darkness will pursue his enemies. What do you conspire against the Lord? He will make an utter end of it. Affliction will not rise up a second time. In other words, we can't change what God's going to do by our plans or conspiracies. But God is good. Well, how can he be good? Well, the next verse I want to share with you is Romans 8:28. And we know, I like things in the Bible to start that way, because I don't know a lot. But when the Bible says we know, then we know. And we know that all things work together for good to those who love God, to those who are the called according to his purpose. Now, notice he does not say that all things are good. There's a lot of evil and a lot of tragedy and sorrow. Cancer is not good. Murder is not good. Drug addiction is not good. But we know that all things work together for good to those who love God, to those who are the called according to his purpose. So I don't understand this, how it works, but everything that happens is according to his plan, and it is for the good of his people. It's for the good of his people. So if you're one of his people, no matter what's happening, He's going to work it for good. Now, it may not be good today or tomorrow or next week or next year, but one day we will see the backside of the tapestry, or the front side. We see the backside now, all these crazy knots tied up. But one day we'll see the front side, the picture that he's making. Say, well, Pastor Brian, I still don't understand it. Well, here's one of the verses that comfort us. Deuteronomy 29:29. The secret things belong to the Lord our God. The secret things belong to Him. So people will say, Pastor Brian, why did this happen? I've gotten that question. And after a lot of theological study, I am prepared to answer anybody's question when they ask me why this happened. I can give them the answer. It's a simple answer. It's a 3-word answer. You know what it is? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know why your wife left you or your kid is out in rebellion against God. I don't know why your house burned down or why you had this tragic death in your family. I don't know. I don't know why the roof fell in or why people got killed in Texas. I don't know. That's the answer. We want to know, though. Man, when it happens to me, I want to know. God, why did this happen? Deuteronomy 29:29. The secret things belong to the Lord our God. He doesn't want us to know. He wants us to trust Him. And to say, it's okay to ask God why. David asked God why. Jesus on the cross said, my God, why have you forsaken me? It's all right to ask. And sometimes He'll tell us. But most of the time He doesn't tell us why. So we've got to be okay with that. It's fine to ask Him why, but be prepared for Him to say, Deuteronomy 29:29. The secret things belong to the Lord our God. But the verse doesn't end there. But those that are revealed belong to us and to our children forever, that we may do all the words of this law. There are the secret things, but then there are those things that are revealed. Those precious promises of God that we just have to hang on to with everything we've got. I know it works together for good. I know you're in control. I know you are good and that you do good. And He said, that belongs to you, and that belongs to your children. And it belongs to the First Baptist Church in Sutherland Springs. And it belongs to us here in Charlestown when silly things happen like a roof. And it belongs to us when roofs fall in our lives. These things belong to us, and they belong to our children. They're the precious promises. And friends, it's the only thing we can hold on to, because we don't know why. But we know we are not accidents, and we're not subject to accidents. That we serve a God who is in control. And I think the greatest way this can be pictured is what happened to the Son of God. When He goes through this trial and justice is not served, and He's falsely accused and taken out and hung on a cross, killed. Why? Because the Bible says in Acts, Jesus being delivered up by the foreknowledge of God, the determinate counsel of God. He was foreordained. We look at the cross now, we can see why, but they couldn't see why then. Mary couldn't see why. But she sees her child up there on the cross. But the Bible says God ordained it, He planned it, and oh, aren't you glad He did? The darkest day became Good Friday. Became the greatest day, right? Because He's got a plan. So, that's what I wanted to share with you today. That's what I felt like the Lord wanted me to share. We're going to still do a little extra in our service today. We're going to sing some songs and things, and we're going to get out a little early because the people have the children the whole hour and they weren't ready for that. But I'd ask you to stand right now. We're going to sing. We're going to do a song of invitation right now. I know it's unusual to do this at the beginning of the service, but maybe there's something you just need to come and talk to God about. Maybe you need to just come and have a little talk with Jesus at the altar this morning, or where you are in your pew. Maybe there's a load you're carrying, and you just need to cast that care on Him and say, Lord, I know you're in control. I know you're good. I don't know why, but that's one of those secret things that belong to you. I know it's going to work together for the good of your people. And Lord, I'm going to trust you. Will you give me strength to trust you through this storm, through this trial? So I invite you to come and pray, or pray where you are as we sing. If God has spoken to your heart, just trust Him. Trust Him this morning as we sing.